ओम परम तत्वाय नारायणाय गुरुभ्यो नमः। जय गुरुदेव। परम पूज्य गुरुदेव की जय। परमहंस स्वामी निखिलेश्वरानंद महाराज की जय। बाबा भूतनाथ की जय। माँ बगलामुखी की जय। माँ काली की जय। सिद्धाश्रम की जय। Hope you all had a chance to look at the first video that was published in this English series, and it explained the origin of 10 Mahavidyas. And of the 10 Mahavidyas, the 8th Mahavidya is often called as Ma Baglamukhi. Today's topic, I do want to go over her Dhyan mantras and understand what her form is, what her attributes are, what does she really look like, what does she represent, and if you really understand any divine form, attributes, and forms, it is very easy to establish a connection with that energy. So today's topic is mostly about Dhyan mantra. Now, there are several Dhyan mantras of Ma Baglamukhi. If I cover everything, the video will be very long. So I will just cover one section of the Dhyan mantra today. And in the next video, we'll further deep dive into the rest of the Dhyan mantras of Ma Baglamukhi, each representing a unique form of Ma Baglamukhi. So we'll first start with her Dhyan. So it goes like this. सौवर्णासन संस्थितां त्रिनयनां पीतांशुकोलासनीं हेमाभाङ्गरुचि शशाङ्कमुकुटां स्त्रचम्पकस्त्रग्युतां हस्तिरमुद्गरपाशबद्धरसनां सम्बिभ्रतीं भूषणीम् व्याप्तांगी बगलामुखी त्रिजगतां संस्तंभनी चिंतयेत. Jai Ma Baglamukhi. So what does it mean? It says Savarna Sansthitam Trinayanam. It means Ma Baglamukhi, she is sitting on a golden throne. Savarna. Savarna means golden color. She's sitting on a golden throne and she's Trinayanam. She has 3 eyes. Now, anytime we talk about Baglamukhi or her puja, just think about the color yellow. Anything we do to do her puja, either we'll do her archan, which I'll slowly I'll start to cover all the puja vidhis, the stotra vidhis, the archana vidhi of Ma Baglamukhi, the yantra puja of Ma Baglamukhi. Just know that anytime you're coming for Ma Baglamukhi sessions or puja, it is all about yellow. So get yellow flowers, you will offer yellow flowers, you will offer yellow nevedyam, you will offer yellow fruits, you will offer, everything will be yellow. You will also wear yellow clothing. You will be sitting on a yellow asan. If people who are doing mantra jap, they will be using yellow malas, which is mostly the haldi mala or the turmeric mala. And all because Ma Bhagavati Baglamukhi, she herself is Peetambara. She herself is yellowish complexion, yellowish as in a golden complexion. Everything that she sits on, everything that she loves is all associated with the color yellow. Like we just explained here, Savarna Sanasansthitam. She's sitting on a golden royal throne, which is golden, which is yellow in color. Trinayanam, she has 3 eyes. Pitanchuko Lasini, like I said, she's Peetambara. She is her complexion is golden colored. She's golden hued. Hema Bhang Ruchi Shashanka Mukutam. Again, she is all covered in golden color. She's covered in golden attire. She's covered in all golden jewelries. And Shashanka Mukutam, she carries moon on her forehead. Just like Shiva carries moon on his forehead, you will see that all the Shaktis, which are nothing but the feminine energy and the divine energy, all the 10 Mahavidyas, you will see some way or the other, if you look into their pictures or if you try to dig more, all these forms, they are carrying moon on their head, or they are crowned, or they're carrying moon as a crown on their forehead. And moon again represents a lot of various things. Moon represents mind. In normal astrology, people who really know, understand astrology, moon represents mind. People who have very weak mental strength, or people who have very weak mental prowess, or people who kind of go through a lot of mood swings, right? Or especially people who are also kind of, we call it sometimes extreme mood swings, and people who go into extreme emotional rides, or they go through these emotional swings a lot. If one consults an astrologer, usually moon is something that we'll look into. So moon represents various things. Like I said, moon represents mind. In this case, Baglamukhi, or any Das Mahavidya, any divine energy, the feminine energy, along with Shiva, who also carries moon. What we are saying here is that she controls your mind, she controls your thoughts. If you control your thought, if Divine Mother controls your thoughts, your actions will be controlled as well. Because the first thing that happens, we don't just jump into an action. First, the mind creates some kind of a vibration. There is some kind of a vibration that is created in our mind, which is nothing but a thought. A thought pattern is created, which leads to the further action. So when we say that Divine Mother is carrying moon on her head, it means that she represents mind, she controls the mind, she controls the thought, she governs the actions, she governs the intellect of her devotees. So we remain on the right path. So we don't do anything negative in our life, or we don't create negativity in other people's lives as well. In fact, when you deep dive into Ma Baglamukhi, we'll understand more about how she controls our tongue. If you look at the picture of Ma Baglamukhi, she's controlling the tongue. And tongue, again, just doesn't represent speech. Tongue is actually connected to your thoughts, because if you have a thought, if you get a negative thought, you will end up speaking negative, right? So we'll definitely cover more of that actual iconography of Ma Baglamukhi. But here, Shashanka Mukuta means she is crowned with moon on her head, and she's adorned with the moon on her head. Moon also represents peace. Moon represents calmness along with mind. Like I said, if it's astrology, generally anything related to mental patterns and mental emotional swings, and people who go to depression very easily, moon is something that needs to be looked at, and Baglamukhi should be done at home. So one has that mental strength and that physical strength as well. They all go hand in hand. But moon also represents Shitalta. Moon represents peace. Moon represents calmness. Where do you see moon really? When you go to an ocean which is turbulent, right? You see these waves, right? And when you see the moon, what a contrast. At one place, you see these waves running through. Of course, the sound of ocean is beautiful, but when you look at the moon, especially above the ocean, right? Especially when you go to a beach, you feel how peaceful, and you feel how calm in that atmosphere. Similarly, in this case, moon means she brings peace, she brings calmness in our lives. Now, a lot of these Dash Mahavidyas, they are very powerful energies, and they can take different forms. They can take a very peaceful form, like Mother Kali can be a mother to Ramakrishna Paramhans, and she will feed from her own hand to Ramakrishna Paramhans, right? But when she has to go fight, and when she has to devour the demons, right? The Rakta Bij and the Chandamund and all these, when she is ready with her khadga and khappar and everything, with her weapons, then she's the supreme power, where she really represents that annihilator of all the demonic energies and all the demonic forces of our life. So mother, like you or anybody else who is a mother, we take on several roles. We don different hats during a day. We take on different forms as the situation demands. So in this case as well, we are saying that even though Das Mahavidyas can be very fierce and can be very powerful, hence I always recommend that one who is getting into mantra sadhana, especially chanting and anushtan and purasharan, always do this under the guidance of a proper guru, or a proper someone who has done these kind of sadhanas for years. This is not something to be experimented with. This is not something that one looks up at YouTube and starts doing chanting right away because you have some manokamna or you have something that you want to get out of it and you just start doing it. Because, like I said, these energies, they're very fierce, they're very powerful, they act very fast, they don't wait. If you call them, they definitely come pretty fast. So one has to be very careful. I'm not saying that one should not do it. Everyone should do this. Everyone. I do want, my goal is to make sure everyone understand what Das Mahavidyas are and how they can worship Das Mahavidyas at home. This is open to everyone. There is no such thing that Das Mahavidyas is only for people who follow Tantra. Anybody, if you're into the Vedic Marg also, you can continue Shakti sadhanas and these kind of Das Mahavidya sadhanas at home. But yes, there are some precautions. There are some basic guidelines that one needs to follow. And it is just like going to a PhD school. You still need to go through the basic elementary. You still need to clear some of the preliminaries and the foundation and give your SATs and whatever the entrance examinations are for you to go to the right college and then for you to go to the advanced PhD level as well, right? One doesn't just jump into the PhD straight up. So same. So here we are talking about Divine Mother. So Baglamukhi, when she represents a moon on her forehead, when she is crowned with moon, she represents your mind. She controls your mind. She controls all the negative energies in your life, and she gives you that peace. She gives you that calmness in your life. Nowadays, I think it is really the need of the hour. Everyone is running so fast. Everyone is always under some kind of a stress. So we need that Sheetalta and we need that moon. We need that calmness in our life. Stra Champakastra Yugatam. Here it means Yutam. Here it means that she loves champa flowers. Again, like I said, anything related to Ma Baglamukhi, as we start to understand more in the next sessions, it will be mostly about yellow flowers as well. If you're offering anything to Ma Baglamukhi, it has to be yellow flower. Here, Stra Champaka, Stra Yugatam, here it means that Champak, she loves, I think in English it's called plumeria, the English version of this champa flowers. It is mostly white with a little bit of yellowish in the center. So she's adorned with champa flowers. She loves champa flowers. Now, if one does not get champa flowers easily, one can obviously offer any kind of yellow, either roses, yellow kaner flowers, which I think mostly available in India. I'm sure in US as well, but any kind of yellow flower. So herself, she is adorned with champa. Hastere Mudgar Pashabadh Rasanam. Now we'll talk about her hands, her arms, what weapon she's carrying. Before we understand that, Ma Baglamukhi, this is a very basic form of Ma Baglamukhi that I'm explaining. Ma Baglamukhi has several forms. She can be two-armed, which is normally what we see if you Google. She can be four-armed. She can be sahastra armed. She can also have 1,000 arms. Now, when we talk about arm, it's not something that she just has arm. It really represents the amount of energy she has, and depending on the situation, she can really expand and aggregate into multiple other forms of energy with multiple arms and multiple weapons. Just like a Durga, right? When you go to any temple, a normal Durga may just have four arms, right? Or even a Ma Kali, like she may have a four arms. But when you get into Durga Saptashati and when you really understand what Durga represents, she can take on thousands and thousands of arms as well, right? Depending on what the situation is. So here as well, now here we are talking about just her two arms. Now, in this Dhyan mantra, especially, we are saying Haste Mudgar Pashabadh. In one hand, Haste means hand. In one hand, she's carrying a Mudgar. A Mudgar is a club, just, similar to what Hanumanji carries, right? Gada. So she's carrying a Mudgar. And in the other hand, she's carrying a Pash. Pash is like a noose that you put around someone to control that person, right? Pash. So it is, yeah, it's like a bondage, right? So she is carrying a mudgar in one hand, and then in the other hand, she's also carrying a pash. Means she's A, she's controlling us, and B, she's controlling or removing us from all the passions of our lives as well. We say that in human life, we are called pashus. I think I'm getting a little deeper, but because it's something I do want to touch upon, we are called pashus. Pashu means one who is bounded by pashas, and there are multiple pashas. There are several forms of pashas. Pashas are nothing but bondages. Bondages, this material life itself is the biggest bondage that we are all trying to cross. We are all trying to, the reason you and I are here on this YouTube trying to understand Das Mahavidyas and Shakti Sadhana is somewhere we feel that pashas, we feel that bondages in our life, and we want to get out of it. For some, it may be just they want to get out of a temporary situation that is bothering them right now. It could be just something happened at home, or something in their career, or something in their marriage, or whatever, right? So some kind of bondage or something that they are right now going through, and they want to get out of it, right? But for some of us, right, we think that the world itself is a pasha, this human birth itself is a pasha, this human birth itself is a big bondage, and one should understand how we can cross this sansara of this material bondage. So pash again represents several things. Like I said, we are called Pashu, and that's why we worship Pashupati, who is Shiva, who is really the lord of all Pashus, which is us. But here we are saying that Baglamukhi, she carries a mudgar and then she carries a pash in one hand. Now we'll definitely talk about other Dhyan mantras in other lectures. I will post in that you will see, and especially if you Google the image of Baglamukhi, she is holding the tongue. So in one hand, she's carrying the weapon, the gada, with which she strikes the tongue of the demon. And that demon is who? Us. Okay, it's me and it's you. It's not the world around us is not a demon. It's me ourselves. It's us. Okay, we are the biggest demons. Let's understand that way. And only with the divine grace of Mother Baglamukhi can we attain or get liberation from all pashas and not be a pashu anymore. Okay. So, Haster Mudgarapashabhadrasanam Sambibhratim Bhushane. Again, she's Bhushane. She's beautifully adorned with several gems and jewels, mostly golden jewels. Now, here I want to just say one thing that this tantra sadhana, this sadhana, everything, it is not just about being a vairagya and being completely, give up everything in life, give up all the material comforts in life, and, just do all the day chanting and mantra jap and this and that. That's not what we usually recommend. When you look at any of our divine energies, when you look at any of these Shaktis that we have, they're all themselves so adorned with gold and beautiful outfits, and they look beautiful, and they love beautiful flowers. They themselves look so royal, and they themselves look like divine. Look at any divine energy. Even if you look at Ma Kali, she may be fearful for someone. For me, she looks amazing, and she herself is adorned, right? So any divine energy, when we understand their form, yes, they are killing shatrus and they are fighting and they are killing Rakta Bijas, and they are here in this case, she's also striking the tongue of a demon. But she is also adorned with a beautiful moon on her forehead. She is wearing some nice looking golden jewels. She is wearing a beautiful golden attire herself. She herself is golden complexion. So you can only imagine the power, the charisma of Ma Baglamukhi. Hence, when we do puja of these Das Mahavidyas, when you do puja of Ma Kali, when you do puja of Ma Baglamukhi, you also dress up as beautifully as possible. Don't just go to Ma Baglamukhi and say that I'm here and I want this, I want to be like a sannyasi and all. All that is fine if you want to be, but especially when we do puja, we also want to look like Ma Baglamukhi because, children are nothing but an extension of their parents, right? So we should want to be like our own mothers. So, Sambi Bhratim Bhushane. So I explained that she's beautifully adorned with jewels and everything. Vyaptangi Baglamukhi Tri Jagatam. So again, she covers, she's Tri Jagatam. She is around all the three lokas. And then she is San Stambini Chintaye. Stamban cannot explain fully here, but Stamban is the power of stillness. As we understand what Baglamukhi is and what is the meaning of the word Baglamukhi, I will talk about Sthamban Shakti. The most characteristic, unique power of Ma Baglamukhi is Sthamban. Sthamban is the power to still someone. Sthamban is the power of stillness. It's like playing a statue. When we were kids in India, we used to play the game of statue. So it is even more effective than actually going on a war and then fighting for days and years, right? Anytime when you hear about Shakti or Vishnu fought, he fought for 5,000 years for Madhu Ketab, and Shiva fought for so many years. But our Divine Mother Baglamukhi is super smart. uh, so what does she do? She's like, don't even bother fighting and all. I'm just gonna still you right away. So she has the power to create that stillness, stillness of the demonic forces, stillness of the demonic energies in your life, stillness of the negativities in your life. If you're experiencing any kind of problems, any kind of obstacle, if somebody is bothering you all the time, if someone is creating disturbance in your life, if your own mental thoughts are creating disturbance in your life, you need to worship Ma Baglamukhi. Like I said, she carries moon, she will govern your mind and thoughts, and then she provides the stillness in our life, and then she brings that calmness of the moon in our life. So this is all about Ma Baglamukhi today, very basic form of Dhyan Mantra. Next few sessions will also explain what Baglamukhi, the word means, and we'll dive into a little bit more into the power of stillness. And then we'll also go over the rest of the Dhyan Mantras of Ma Baglamukhi. So for now, I think this should be enough. Chaliye, Om Param Tattvaya Narayanaaya Gurubhyo Namaha, Jai Gurudev.